Welcome back, viewers. You're watching NewsX, and now we are focusing on the big stories tracking at this point of time. The top court is set to take up a plea seeking the Indian government to use the diplomatic channels to Nimisha Priya, a nurse from Kerala that has been facing execution in Yemen for alleged murder. The hearing comes just 2 days before her scheduled execution on the 16th of July. Nimisha Priya is facing the execution for the alleged murder of her Yemeni business partner Talal Abdo Mahdi in the year 2017. The plea has been filed in the Supreme Court seeking to explore the option of paying the blood money to the victim's family in order to save Nimisha Priya from the execution. The provision is permissible under Sharia law in Yemen. The plea has argued in this regard. So why is Nimisha Priya on death row? Nimisha Priya is a 38-year-old nurse from Kerala's Palakkad district. She went to Yemen for work in the search of work in the year 2011, but is currently locked up in a prison in the capital city, Sana'a. She went on to the Yemen with a family, but her husband and daughter returned to India 3 years later in 2014 due to the civil unrest in Yemen. Nimisha, however, then stayed back to support her family. However, Yemen's law mandates foreign medical practitioners partner with a Yemeni national if they want to open a clinic. Enter the Talal Abdo Mahdi, whose Nimisha partnered with Mahdi for her clinic, but he allegedly falsified the documents to falsely claim that he was married to her, withheld her passport, subjected her to years of physical abuse, financial exploitation, and repeated threats. She was then sentenced to death 3 years later in 2020, while Indian officials are engaged in the efforts to prevent her execution. Doing so is tricky because the prison she is lodged is controlled by the Houthi administration, with which India has no formal diplomatic ties. Well, that has been the background, and of course, all the important and relevant details that we need to understand if we talk about what happens further in this case. Sambhav Sharma, my colleague, joins me for the latest updates. Sambhav, very good morning. What more do you pick up as this Nimisha Priya case is concerned in the top court? Supreme Court is also going to hear a plea. Share more details as to what you're gathering at this point of time.
Well, the matter is before Justice Vishnu in the lead matter, and the bench is likely to hear the matter today. And earlier also on July 10th, the matter was mentioned before the top court of the country, and where Advocate Subhash Chandran, he said that the diplomatic channels need to be explored at the earliest, and he requested to the Supreme Court, the Ministry of External Affairs, to explore all the diplomatic channels to stop this. And he also submitted that the payments of blood money to the family of the deceased permissible under Sharia law can be explored. And also in an exclusive copy of Subhash Chandran said that he is exploring all possible options, and he has the last hope from the Supreme Court of India, and Supreme Court has also agreed to list this matter on July 14th, that is today, and the matter is to come around 12 o'clock today, and it is to be seen what Supreme Court says next, because the petition is seeking a direction to the central government, that is the Ministry of External Affairs, to use diplomatic channels to save this Indian nurse who is from Kerala and likely to be executed in Yemen on July 16th of murder charges. So, and also the backgrounder, you explained it quite well. And also the family of the deceased may pardon the Kerala nurse if blood money is paid. This is what is submitted by the lawyer in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court in the last hearing asked the counsel to serve the copy of the petition to the Attorney General. So when the copy is served to the Attorney General, and also Subhash Chandran said in conversation that yes, he is going to serve the copy to the Attorney General, also will speak to the Ministry of External Affairs. So a copy is being served to the Attorney General of India, and also the Supreme Court has sought Attorney General's assistance. The Attorney General will be present in the Supreme Court and will explain what the government of India is doing, and also the Ministry of External Affairs in particular is doing, because the Nimisha Priya, the nurse from Kerala, is convicted of murdering her Yemeni business partner in 2017. And as you were talking about the whole story, and she was sentenced to death in 2020. Her final appeal was rejected in 2023, and she is currently imprisoned in a jail in Sana'a, which is the capital of Yemen. And the petition which is filed in the Supreme Court is filed by organization called Save Nimisha Priya International Action Council, which is extending legal support to assist Nimisha Priya. And also, when we talk about this particular petition in the Supreme Court, the petition cited media reports that state that tentative date of execution of Priya has been fixed as July 16 by Yemeni administration. So this all have now the very crucial matter is in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is likely to hear this matter in detail, and also it's likely that there will be somebody who will put forth the opinions of, what Ministry of External Affairs is doing, what they have done so far, and a very crucial hearing is scheduled in the Supreme Court in the Nimisha Priya case.
Absolutely. In fact, Sambhav, now continue to stay with us live on the telecast. I also have my guest, Advocate